Welcome on in here to Sports Memo Today. Another rousing week here that we have for you. It's Sweet 16 week, and hopefully you're not bankrupt starting this week because, man, some of those upsets, if you were riding with dogs, you're the opposite of bankrupt. You are sitting pretty because what a hectic way to start March Madness. We're happy to be here with you. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and maybe we should call this show not only The Return, as we're returning here for another week of great shows here at Sports Memo TV, but also we have the return of Dionne D'Amico and the return of Ross Benjamin on the show here today. So two of my favorites coming back for you, getting you actionable information in 30 minutes or less. It's what we do. Dionne going to be looking all hoops, even though she's one of the best baseball cappers that we have at Sports Memo. We'll talk about that as well. But we got a little NBA action. We got a little NIT action for you from Dionne coming up. Joe D'Amico's better half, and I emphasize better for sure. And then we got Ross Benjamin. He's going to shut things down. We got college basketball. We'll talk all hoops with him as well. He's also got a total play in tonight's NBA action. One of our best total cappers at Sports Memo across all sports. So let's get right on into it. Dionne D'Amico, welcome her, and you can find her sm.buzz/DA. And I already hear Joe yucking it up there in the background. It's like, can't you just let Dionne do her own show, go leave the apartment for a little bit, take the dogs for a walk or something? But Dionne, I know not only are you excited to be on, you're pretty excited for the $2 Tuesday play that you have locked and loaded that people can grab at your page for just $2.
I am, and oh, how sweet it is. Carefully looking at all of the Sweet 16 matchups, there's one game that really stands out to me. So for my $2 Tuesday play, I have my 5% Sweet 16 moneymaker, and my moneymakers are hot, going 5-1 my last 6. This is my strongest release this tournament campaign, and I want everyone to get a big 5% win for just $2. I also do have a big NIT winner posted as a premium play for tonight's NIT quarterfinals. Is the NIT in my NIT Bookie Buster, and I have that posted right now over at Sports Memo for just $7.
And I love this. So just $9 can get you two terrific plays from our woman Dionne D'Amico. Check that out, sm.buzz/DA. And also, if you want to up the ante, you don't only have to grab Dionne's play. We have a full slate of handicappers over at sportsmemo.com that you can get their best bets for just $5. You cappers got a 5-unit play coming up here in the NBA tonight. And then our next guest, Ross Benjamin, has an absolute gem that he likes in the NIT. And of course, Dionne just let you know about her Sweet 16. Oh, how sweet it is, special. So Dionne, let's get into it. Let's take a look at NBA tonight. You have a team that you're thinking about laying the chalk with a little bit, and a team that's pretty darn good on the defensive end. We're talking the Cavs. What do you like about their matchup tonight?
I have a free NBA winner for today for everybody on today's card. If the season were to end today, the Cavaliers would hold the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, while the Nets, the number 6 seed. This is a very good opportunity for Cleveland to further separate themselves from a team just over their shoulder. If you take a look at their previous matchups, looks can be deceiving. Brooklyn has dominated, taking 7 of the last 10 meetings straight up. This includes the only matchup this season back in December on the road, 125-117. However, that was a very different Nets team that took the floor that night. Kevin Durant scored 32 and Kyle Irving also scored 32 to lead the team. But as you all know, neither Durant nor Irving are here anymore. Cleveland's Mitchell and Garland are one of the best backcourt tandems in the league as they combine for nearly 50 points per game. I believe the guards will control the tempo and the pace of this contest, but it will be the Cavaliers' defense that will give them a big victory here tonight. They top the league in points allowed and rank second on the defensive boards. They will frustrate the lackluster Nets defense and take away any opportunities for second chance shots. To me, I think the line in this game should be closer to 6 or 7, so I'll go ahead and lay the short price with the Cavaliers.
Lay in the chalk, and it's like I stole your notes as I say the defense is what separates this Cavs team. So great minds thinking alike right there, Dionne. So we got the Cavs rocking tonight, laying the spot with them. And then in tomorrow's NIT card, there's a dog that you think might just be barking. There's a matchup between UAB and Vandy, and you're saying maybe the wrong team favored in this one. What are we eyeing, Dionne?
Yeah, so you stole my opening line for that one. My other free play takes place tomorrow in the NIT quarterfinals as UAB and Vanderbilt square off. Since the end of January, the Blazers have been one of the hottest teams in the nation. They finished up the regular season on a 9-1 run, covering 6 of those 10. They've also won and covered 4 of 5 this postseason. They have to come in here with some confidence, knowing that they've won and covered both meetings with SEC opponents this season, thrashing both Georgia and South Carolina, both by 14 points. Both teams here have explosive backcourts, and both teams also have some pretty strong guys up front. I think the big difference in this matchup is going to be the mismatch between the explosive Blazers' 9th ranked scoring offense, which, by the way, also ranks 2nd in the nation on the offensive boards, against a very beatable Commodores defense. I really think UAB can run with them here and control the tempo. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Blazers.
A WTF. Wrong team favored play from Dionne D'Amico. And we already told you, grab that $2 play or up the ante. Grab 3 plays for just $5 at sportsmemo.com. But before I let you go, Dionne, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that yesterday was the first day of spring, which means baseball for us baseball fans and bettors.
Right.
And as far as baseball season's gone, I mean, this is a season you're always looking towards, correct?
I am, we're just a week and a half away from my favorite and most profitable sport, MLB. The last several years, since I have been documented, I have always been a top 5 baseball capper. Right now, this is the ideal time to take advantage of the big MLB discounts over at Sports Memo. Whether you pick up a month or the entire season, this will be the smartest and safest investment you can make this spring.
Yeah, I love that baseball season is here already, and Dionne isn't lying. Ride with one of the best. And we do these early bird specials so that you can get in, especially as you're building your bankroll throughout the NCAA action. If you're an NHL bettor as well, whoever you're riding with, it's a great way to try and roll over those profits and cash in early on as MLB rolls in. And as she mentioned, top 5 in Major League Baseball, and that's 2 years. That's not a little short sample size. That's not saying, oh, I've hit 3 picks in the last 3 days. No, that's 2 years worth of data telling you that Dionne D'Amico is a sure bet when you're looking at Major League Baseball. You can also grab her favorite play in the Sweet 16 for just $2, and she's on a 5-1 run on those. You can grab Ross Benjamin's play as well as UCapper, our man Ronald Kabang's play as well for just $5. If you're over at Wager Talk, check out Ben Burns. He's got a NHL Game of the Week. He's looking for 6 straight, so does it happen on $2 Tuesday? Grab Ben's play and ride alongside the sweat with him. So, hey, I mentioned Ross Benjamin. Let's welcome him back in here. Always love when my man Rossi B is stopping by. sm.buzz/RB. And Ross, I feel like it's always like a reunion. We go a couple weeks without talking, and you're coming on, and you have another great streak to talk about. How's it been running, man, and how you doing?
Hey, I can't complain. Always a pleasure, Dan, and I miss talking to you, my friend. But here we
Likewise,
are.
brother.
Yeah, in terms of streaks, the NBA since April 1st of last year, which is quite a big sample size, I'm plus 3,582 units. That's based on $100 bet per unit. That would be a profit of $3,582. I should have specified from the beginning, but I'm not that smart, but I am smart when it comes to picking winners. And also my college basketball totals 42 and 26, Dan, over my last 68. That's good for 62% and $100 per unit. Bettors up $4,742 during that time. And then last of which, the NBA totals too, 24 and 16. With my last 40, that's good for 60%. We're going to have an NBA total on our free pick segment here.
Yeah, and ever even going back to football season, when Ross Benjamin talks totals, we know to listen. I don't know what it is about those numbers that you're able to just handicap so sharply, but those numbers indicated it's not just by name, it is by nature. So I'm actually going to throw a little curveball at our guy Eric. Does a terrific job behind the scenes. We're talking totals. We got to do that one right at the top. We're talking LAC, OKC, the Clips taking on the Thunder. And don't worry, you college basketball nuts. We will have a play for you as well. Potentially a barking dog coming up here in just a few moments. But when we're talking totals, we got to go to Ross Benjamin right here at the top. Now, this Clippers and Thunder total, we have seen some love in the marketplace for the over. So when I was looking at the opening number on the Wager Talk Live odds screen, we saw 235.5. There still are some 237s out there, but we're even seeing nearly a 3-point jump up to 238 in some spots. So, Mr. Totals, we agree, we disagree with that market move. What do you think, Ross?
Yeah, coming off last night's total win, as I had Utah in Sacramento over 240, went to 248. And, Dan, numbers such as these, 237.5, scare a lot of people away if they're thinking about going over. I'm not one of them. I think the number is there for a reason. I think it's this high for a reason. And the Clippers have played 5-0 to the over off back-to-back unders, and that's exactly what they come into this game on, is back-to-back unders. As a matter of fact, those 5 games that have gone over in their last 5 after back-to-back unders, how about this, Dan? 253 points combined scored per game. They have not, meaning the Clippers, gone under the total in 3 straight games since January the 15th of this year. So by my count, that's pretty close to about 9 or 10 weeks. So that tells you something about the consistency in which you could depend on the Clippers to continue to go over the total. They've also shot 50% or better in 8 of their last 14 games. OKC comes in on a 8-3-1 overrun. So I'm going to go over the total there, Dan. I'm going to take the LA Clippers and Oklahoma City Thunder over 237.5. You may be able to find a 237 at some sports book. So do your shopping, folks.
Yeah, always do your shopping, get the best number possible, as Ross mentions there. Look around, because the difference between a winner or a loser so often is that half point. And Ross, the ones that you always remember are the ones you lose by the half point. You never remember the ones you win by half point. You're just doing your job.
Unless you had Gonzaga the other night, and you remember the ones you lost by 1 point on a 3-point. Yeah, never. I don't even want to get into that.
I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject,
no,
Ross.
Okay,
that's on
but
me.
If you want to hear Ross's rant, I'd be more than willing to do so. But let's move on to more positive things.
Because I was one of those people who said, how is he able to get a shot off in 0.7? Because I did cover my bet thanks to the 0.7. So I feel you, Ross. I feel you, brother. All right, well, let's get into some college basketball. Master of segues as well as handicapping totals. Princeton's taking on Creighton. Creighton is laying a spot here, but all Princeton keeps doing when they keep getting double digits or they keep getting big lines against them is not only covering, Ross, they're winning these games outright. What is it? Does it finally peter out here, or do we have another live dog situation with the Tigers?
Yeah, I mean, history would say that a 15 seed or 13 seed or higher wins in the first round. They usually peter out in the second round, but that hasn't been the case. And, I don't know, is Princeton another St. Peter's from last year? I'm not quite willing to go there yet, but you never know. Here's the thing with Princeton. I look at their non-conference portion of their schedule before the NCAA tournament began, and there's nothing impressive there that stands out to me that would have saw this coming. Now, I didn't use either Princeton games as my premium selections in the first 2 rounds, but you can't help but be impressed, Dan. I mean, look at they take on the number 2 seed in the region, Arizona. They beat them 59-55. Then they go wire to wire against Missouri in a game that wasn't close through most of the second half and win the game 78-63. The most impressive part of those 2 wins to me was the fact that Arizona, according to KenPom, is the number 10 team in the country when it comes to adjusted offensive efficiency, and Missouri is number 8. Yet they held Arizona to 55 points, and they also held Missouri to 63 points. So playing good defense at this time of year combined with their style of play. Now, this isn't the Pete Carroll teams of years ago where they take the whole entire shot clock, look for a backdoor cut. Princeton plays a little more up-tempo, but as you can see, they're smart enough, and I give Mitch Henderson a lot of credit, Princeton's head coach, for slowing the tempo of the first 2 games down, knowing he's not going to win a track meet against either one of those opponents he played, and it worked to a T. Also, upsets for Princeton this year are nothing new. As a matter of fact, they've gone 6-2 straight up as an underdog, straight up. So 8 times they've been an underdog. They've won 6 of those games straight up, and they also covered 7 of those 8 contests. And, you know, Sweet 16 dogs of 9 points to 12 points since 2013. How about 5-0 against the spread? They only won 1 of those 5 games outright. But you know what? I'm not calling for an outright upset here. It wouldn't shock me. It's going to be improbable based on the numbers. But I'm calling for Princeton to get inside the number. That's all that counts, folks. I don't care who's on both sides of the ball. I just think the betting value here with a 10-point dog in the Sweet 16, a team that's playing very good defense and all of a sudden has a ton of confidence, will weigh heavily here. Creighton's a great team. I see them advancing, but this game's going to be a heck of a lot more difficult than a lot of Blue Jays fans would hope for. I'm going to go with Princeton here, plus the 10 over Creighton.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you're looking for motivation spots as well too. And Creighton, yeah, they want to win this game, but Princeton, they're not saying, hey, we better win this game by 11 points. Is really what what that's not the talking point in the locker room with the Creighton Blue Jays. It's survive and advance and Princeton
Exactly.
UCapper